Welcome to the DGRN Podcast. I am joined here with Monkey. It's been a long time, I know. 2 months.
It's been like 20 years.
We're at Richmond right now. I got my Monster Energy. Monkey's got his microphone and his favorite Lark.
And my Larkin's Easy diecast. I believe this is his Las Vegas when that one season he beat HP to the line, but
yes, it is.
Irregardless, we're here to talk about some current DGRN events and just what's been going on these past few months that you've missed. We won't cover everything because then we're going to sit here for, like, I don't know, until, like, the next millennium. But, yeah, we're going to try and cover everything that we can.
Starting out, I think a good place to start out would be everything that's happened in the Truck Series. On and off the track.
Yeah, I mean, there's on and off the track is a big understatement for one, but two, this is probably I'm just gonna go right out and say the least interesting series, and there's a lot less like controversy and crazy stuff to talk about. But there is one thing that we will get into. There is one thing, but. Other than that, not really much interesting things have happened in the Truck Series this season. I'll allow you to start us off, Zach.
Okay, so since we left off at Coda, I think I don't know if he did the Coda weekend or not, but at Coda, Janicek has gotten one win since his part-time starts has started, and he hasn't gotten a win since. So that sucks for that guy. Wicked, on the other hand, you may have remembered he was close in a couple races, especially like Auto Club. He's won 3 times now since Martinsville, I will say, because the Coda podcast was before we did the weekend and races and whatnot. Whatever the case is, he won Bristol, Charlotte, and just recently Memphis, Tennessee, which had a wild finish. Monkey was there to experience the last
I had to make it interesting somehow. All right, it was a crazy finish. I would recommend go watching it if you have not yet. Genuinely crazy. XLT had it in reverse on the wall for like the last 10 laps. It was the funniest thing ever. But Wicked ended up getting the win in a photo finish with Cole Berna, who I believe made his first start in the Truck Series, but I'm not sure. It was just a part-time start, but maybe we'll see more starts from that man in the future because he's really around often. One thing that I do want to touch on, though, right quick, is how dead this series is, other than, like, Wicked and XLT. Because if you look at it, 12, out of, 18 races we've run so far, 12 of them have been won by part-time drivers. Some of them didn't even have that race scheduled for their part-time start. So, this, like I said, this series has had, like, the most interesting things going on. Really, the only other things I can talk about is XLT went 2 in a row. Talladega and Myrtle Beach had two really strong showings there. I believe so, at least. Other than that, Wicked getting 3 wins is really all that there is to talk about. And Vixie, Zach, and Braden are also in the playoffs. But Braden, he barely shows up, and when he does, he's either dominating the thing or in the death wall. He has not won a race since Daytona, however. And in Vixie, Zach, well, I don't know if he's ever going to win, first of all. Second of all, he's just not very consistent when he does show up. So, yeah.
I guess I'll get to it first before you do. Partly the reason why Vixie Zach's in the playoffs is we have to talk about Eldora first.
Oh God! Oh no!
So
all right. Here's the real reason he's in the playoffs.
So Larkins won the pole for Eldora, and I won the race at Eldora. And partly why I won is because on one restart it was Lark and Demi, and Lark got into the backside of Demi and spun him out, and Demi got mad after the race.
Yeah, quite heated, I must say.
And then here comes Livdig's racing.
Here's the thing. If you've been looking, well, I assume Zach has the stream on the points sheet right now.
No, I don't.
Okay, well, shit. But he probably is now, hopefully. But
no, I got it. Yeah.
If you look closely, there's a bit of a lack of Demi Dozer on it. And the best way I could put it is Kendrick Lamar's diss on Drake, and that's pretty much all you need to know.
Yep.
I think that sums it up pretty well.
In other words, Demi is no more. I guess that's all I can really say.
Yeah. That's the only reason Vixie Zach is in the playoffs.
Demi, more like Drake. What?
No, what? But looking at the race ratings, like, all these races haven't been like that bad as we make them out to be. They've just been like not a lot of cars, or trucks, whatever.
Yeah, mostly they've been pretty good races. All of them are over 7 at the very least. No, nothing that's dipped under 7, but consistently good, not great.
Yeah, yeah. Consistently good, but like not great races. I think that sums it up pretty well.
All right, we'll move on to Busch now, which I think is the most interesting series.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, trucks not very interesting, and right away we're moving to Busch, which is the most interesting series. Like, I don't think it's really much up for debate.
Since Coda, which I won, I guess, Jensek has won 2 more times to add on to his Las Vegas win. Miguel has died twice in this span. Apparently. Actually, no, he's actually died one more
Vegas.
time,
Yeah, it was Vegas and then whatever.
So now he's died twice this season. That's crazy. Let's see. Neptune got his first win of the season.
Finally got win number 1.
Kirsch got win number 2 on the season at Milwaukee, and then Naka surprised everybody by winning the pole and then winning the race at Road America.
And then I got to talk about it right quick because New Hampshire, I just gotta talk to everybody in Busch right quick. That race. All right. Okay. So we started off the race, right? Was it no stages or I don't think it was any stages.
Yeah, no stages.
But the first like half of it, I want to say, like, me and Zach were in the booth. We were commentating. Zach was racing. My bad. I was in the booth. I was commentating. I was enjoying my day, and then all of a sudden, Zach has to leave the race, and now I have to host the rest of it. And everybody was behaving, but as soon as Zach leaves, all hell just breaks loose. All right, everyone's doing everything, and then to cap it all off, Neptune ended up just straight up sending David into the wall for the win. He ended up getting it taken away from him because Zach decided that that was just too dirty of a move by Neptune. So David was your winner at New Hampshire.
A few key moments I do want to talk about in terms of things. Charlotte was a crazy race. A lot of things happened. The setups were not great, and then they turned pretty okay. And then that's how Neptune won. But he had a lot of DNFs at Charlotte. At Dover, it was the Caden show. He won the race. Milwaukee was, I think, Lark's last race.
It was Lark's last ever race before he left to leave. That's something we didn't. We should have opened that up as soon as I talked about the diecast on the table.
That's true. But I guess we'll talk about it now. Yeah, he's gone. He said he had enough. He's doing his own thing now.
Yeah, he left. Goodbyes. I am now the team owner of Fallout. Not the way I wanted to be a team owner, but I guess I don't have much choice now.
It is what it is. And then at Road America, on a lighter note, I was focusing on this one battle. I think it was on a restart. It was like the lap after the restart. I'm focusing on this battle between Jensek from 3rd to 4th on back. Monkey's leading. I think Naka's in 2nd. And I turn the camera around as they get past turn 2, and Monkey's on the other side of the wall. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then he drives off the cliff and dies.
I still don't get it because I freeze in the middle of the corner and I'm like, I'll just hit the wall. I'll be fine. The next thing I know, I'm in the sky and I don't know what happened.
This boy thought he was playing Mario 64.
I was waiting for Lakitu to pull me back up to the track, bro. Like, what the hell? He left me hanging.
That's tragic. And that's all the stuff for Busch. I'll go quickly put it on the screen again, but you can see the race ratings.
I don't really. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I'm trying to remember some stuff. Kaiden dominated Michigan. Good for that man. I think that's pretty much it for that. Miguel Darlington. Lark won Texas after Kaiden hit the death wall during his burnout.
Oh, yeah,
I just feel like
I almost forgot about that. Yeah,
that happened. I don't really know anything. Milwaukee, I don't know if we went in depth about it, but me and Lark, we were going to be right next to each other for the win. But then Tony ran out of fuel with 2 laps to go, so it was going to be a green, white, checkered. And then Kirst was back in the conversation and got past Lark on the final lap and ended up winning. And Lark was just in agony after the race.
He was real mad. We'll go over points at near the end-ish, sort of. I don't know. But that's mostly all the Busch stuff. That was kind of cool. As you can see, since we're at Richmond right now, you can actually kind of go take a look at the cars. Which is something we haven't done in the podcast just yet.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we gotta go. We gotta go look at the. We gotta go look at the cars. We gotta look at the cars. Yeah, does trucks race here? I don't think they did.
No, they don't.
Yeah. All right.
And Caden is also at the track early. He took the flight here.
Go away, Caden.
As you can see, some cars are interesting, like the David car.
Most of these guys won't be here, but it's all right. This Genesect car, I think, is pretty cool. I like it. Same goes for the Miguel machine over here. I wish this machine was ran more often.
Oh, God.
And, pretty much it. We got the Cursed Gelatin's machine. And my son, Neptune.
An Ally car.
Get no TP.
But yeah, that is our car look at segments thing.
That is the
change. Yeah, we looked at.
Thank you for joining us for the car look at segment.
The car look at the cars. Look out.
Look at them.
Oh, that's kind of fire name actually. Look out. That's kind of fire.
What is?
Look out, like you're looking out for the schemes.
Look out.
Look out. Oh no, the car's hot.
Right now.
I won't let this guy spectate. I went into an alleyway. That's crazy.
You dummy. Anyway.
Right. Now on to the Cup Series, which is a fun thing to talk about.
Hooray.
Coda, Lark got his last win in Cup ever. Win number 42.
And then he left.
He left around like God knows how many weeks later. Live Dix Racing stole Bristol from HP.
Highway robbery stole Bristol from HP. Highway robbery, like I said.
To be fair, she was like the 3rd fastest car, so it's not total robbery, but it's still a robbery.
HP won Michigan in a dominant performance.
Red Knight Fighter 1 came out of nowhere and then won Talladega.
It was a pretty good race. My dumbass won Darlington somehow with a 104-degree fever. How? I still don't know. But anyway, moving on to the worst race of the season. We got Rainbow Got Taken, winning Pocono with only like 4 cars after all of us basically died. So there's that.
It was Rainbow and Live Diggs Racing. Could you believe it? I couldn't. And then we had the Chronicles of What is Happening. I won Charlotte, which I had lost the previous year, so I wanted to come back and try to redeem myself, and I redeemed myself. I did. However, there was one thing that kind of threw everyone off, is that the lack of draft, and I can't speak on like why that was. But if there was drafts, the race would have been a lot more enjoyable and not get like just a 9, probably like a 9.8.
I could have won. No, I'm kidding.
But even so, I think Charlotte was a pretty good race. Texas.
Yeah, that was actually.
Do you want to elaborate on Texas?
I don't want to. I want you to elaborate.
I gotta do everything around here. All right, so Texas.
I just did 2 in a row. It's your turn.
No, I did Charlotte.
Yeah.
Man,
I talked about Darlington and Pocono.
Yeah,
It's your turn to talk about Charlotte. Shut up.
All right, so Texas, right? First things first, Liv Diggs Racing, I could not figure out the setup for the life of her. I think it was just because she was letting off A. It was when you just had to hold down A, and then she'd blame the car, and then she left the league for like maybe 4 races, and then came back to, I think, New Hampshire. So that's more like 3, but whatever.
Yeah, I think it was New Hampshire.
And then after that, Monkey Got Hops was doing pretty good in the race. HB actually was doing good in the race. There was Cole, HB got taken out by Cole, unfortunately, and I felt really bad.
I think we started with 8, and then only 3 finished.
Yeah, it was survival of the fittest, and then Rainbow got taken. Highway robbery from Monkey Got Hops.
Whoopee! Yay!
And then from Texas to Milwaukee, HP got the pole 3 times in a row. I don't know what happened to this guy, but he got crazy. Decided I want to win the pole every time. Right now.
He also just bullied everybody at Dover.
It was not even funny. That man was on rails.
I just want to raise the banner here that I was the only other driver to lead laps that race.
The only other driver.
I'm putting the banner up, all right?
Milwaukee, I stole something from Lob. He dominated the race.
I kind of wrecked him like 3 times because I was high. This is a public. He probably won't even see this, but I will go on the record and I will say this is a public apology to One Lobster. I don't know if I apologized to him already or not, but this is a public apology for Milwaukee. It was a lesson to me to never take an edible ever again. Don't do drugs, kids. Moving on.
You might just wreck somebody.
Or you might kill somebody.
And then me as a part-timer, once HP won his 3rd pole in a row, I won 3 races in a row. Milwaukee, Sonoma, and New Hampshire. Sonoma was Lark's last cup race. He won the pole in his last race, so woohoo.
And then he DNF'd on lap 2.
Oh, that was unfortunate.
Also want to say a special thanks for Kaiden putting me in the wall glitch at New Hampshire. Appreciate it.
Of course. I think it was the best car there. But
yeah, but we were battling, and I was
battling.
Keeping up with you, and then this dude came out of nowhere and put me in. Oh, I'm kidding.
But yeah, I won 3 North Wilkesboro and St. Petersburg. Just happened the past 2 days. Monkey Got Hops won at North Wilkesboro after Rainbow led like 112 laps of 145. So that's a lot of laps.
I committed highway robbery right back.
It's my turn.
It's my turn to
see
do
how you like
robbery.
it. HP won the pole after. Oh yeah, he got injured at Milwaukee, so he was out for these 2 races, and then
I gained absolutely nothing from it other than normal points.
And he missed St. Petersburg, which, fun fact, is HP's birthday today. So happy birthday, HP.
Happy birthday, HP. I won't be mad about your Busch Series title win today.
Tomorrow, though, it's on site.
Tomorrow, though. I'm still gonna be eating.
I'm still hating. I'm Drew McIntyre. And then St.
Why do you think I have EFP 90% of the time?
True. And then St. Petersburg just happened, which I won the race, which was, I kind of highway robbery. Red Knight Fighter won. But...
Red Knight Fighter there, yeah. I was not locked in because I was trying to see, maybe Drew McIntyre can finally win a world title because, it's in his, home country and everything. No, he can't. But this isn't the WWE podcast. This is the DGRN podcast. So, other than St. Petersburg, the only thing I can really say about it is Liv was the only one to hit the death wall out of all of us, which is kind of comical, I'm not going to lie. But anyway, moving on.
Baby. All right, so that is all the race stuff for Cup. I still have yet to do points for Cup St. Petersburg, which I'll have to update at some point.
I just know I gained again because HP didn't show up and I finished 4th and Rainbow finished 5th. So I'm not going to gain a ton, but I'm going to gain a little bit, guys.
Hell yeah. Moving back to Truck Series, though, looking at points and the races left, there is, I believe, 6 races left for the Truck Series, which is kind of crazy to me now thinking about it. Like, damn. 6 races. Damn!
Damn!
That's pretty wild to me. I think that's pretty cool. So Memphis just happened, so points are a little not really updated. But looking at these points from Eldora, which I mean Demi's not here, but it's whatever. Wicked just won, so he's gonna be up by a lot. I think. I would think so anyway.
Have you not done points for it yet?
No.
Well, I mean, Braden is in 2nd, and he's not shown up very recently, so Wicked being leaps and bounds ahead, that's not too far-fetched.
I would say not much has changed since Memphis. If anything, some point gains, something here and there. Mostly I want to talk about the top 4, because the bottom people, well, I mean, we'll get to them when it's like...
Yeah, we'll get to them in a second,
like
but there's only one in, like, the bottom. There's only one person in the bottom that I think actually could make the playoffs, but we'll get to that in a second.
Starting off with Wicked, 3 wins on the season, and being able to show up most of the time, I think he's going to cruise on to the playoffs. At least yeah. I think so. I think it's still a little too early for a championship pick just yet.
No.
But we will get the championship picks at the start of the playoffs, and then near the end we'll see how we rank up or something.
I mean, he is one of the most active drivers, across all 3 series.
True.
So I feel like cruising to the playoffs is basically an understatement, because I feel like he's pretty much just guaranteed to be in there at this point. Remember, regular season gets what, like 10 playoff points or something?
They get 15.
15 extra playoff points, my bad. Regular season champ gets 15 extra playoff points, so that's really important. Wicked, I believe, has 5 and 40 playoff points for him at the moment. And if it stays like this, he's going to have 55 going into the playoffs. Now, like, nobody else is going to have any because, like I said, 12 out of the 18 races for trucks have been won by part-timers. And 3 of those 6 races are actually won by truck drivers were won by Wicked. So I believe he's definitely the front runner by far to win the championship. Well, not the championship. We shouldn't win the back considering there's only 6 races left.
I would be inclined to agree. Braden, on the other hand, I think, if he shows up, given that he shows up, he is like hit or miss to me. But when he hits, he hits. When it goes well, it goes really well. He hasn't won since Daytona. He's only got like 15 playoff points because he got a pole at Coda randomly. But when he decides to show up, I think he can be really good. And I think the tracks that are left and the tracks in the playoffs could suit him in his favor. At least his driving style, because I think he does really well on the drafting tracks rather than the short tracks, which Wicked seems to... I don't think it really seems to matter to Wicked. I mean, you had a short track and then Charlotte, which had draft, and then back to a short track. You know, it's kind of gone everywhere. At least to me, Braden looks to be pretty good, I think. What do you think about XLT?
Well, yeah, all right. So Braden can be good if he shows up. XLT, that 2 in a row at Talladega and Myrtle Beach, that's really going to help him in the long run, I believe. Holy shit. So he's got 30 playoff points right now. That's right behind Wicked. I don't know if he's just not shown up that often or what to only have 228 points, but I think he should be considered second to Wicked at the moment. I feel like he should be considered Wicked's biggest threat if the playoffs were to happen, because, well, to be fair, his championship campaign I cannot speak right now. Campaign last season, he barely beat Gio, and almost everybody says that was the most Mickey Mouse title in DGRN history because David is the one who got XLT to that championship. But at the same time, we all doubted him. We all said Gio was going to win the title. We all said, we were all saying that before the Homestead race, and he ended up proving us all wrong, and he did that race all by himself and won. This is exactly what it's been this entire season. I don't think he's died yet. It's just he hasn't been as active as he was last season. So, yeah, I definitely think he can be a front runner as well if he shows up.
Next XLT and Big C Zach. Oh boy.
Where do we begin with this guy?
No wins, no polls. He got 0 playoff points, and the only reason he's there is because Drake. I feel bad for this guy because I think he actually would have won Charlotte, given that he didn't die and get wrecked. I think he would have won at least one race, but now since he's been back, he hasn't shown up a whole lot. And when he does show up, he actually does pretty decently when he's not dying and stuff.
When he's not taking the corner terribly.
But yeah, in Vixie's Zach, there's not really much to talk about because he has had some close finishes, but I feel like he just needs one race that he does really well in. I think that'll get the ball rolling for him. At least
there's also just there's just not much to talk about with him as well, man. Like one race where he does good, that's a statement, right? If he wins a race, that's a statement right there, all right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a statement that he can compete and he can be here for the playoffs. But other than that, there's just not really that much to talk about.
Yeah, you had mentioned there is one guy you believe that could possibly battle for the top 4 spots to get into the playoffs. Who is that guy?
All right, this is not because I think he is good in any way, shape, or form, all right? Oscar, Sword, Rafiq, and Jake the Knight, I'm sorry. Y'all got no chance of making it. Y'all need to... Oscar could, honestly, if he showed up. He's in range, but I think a majority of those points are because of David subbed for him for 4 races, I think.
True.
But I do believe that Car Wolfia could possibly sneak his way into the playoffs. He would. I think he made the playoffs last season as well, but even if he does, I just don't think he's going to go anywhere with it. That's the thing. I think I know I'm sounding the horn early, but I think Wicked or XLT will be your champion by the end of this season. I'm just going to flat out say it because Braden, I think he's just going to make it. Yeah, he can just show up one more time and make it, honestly. And Vixie Zach, if he doesn't start showing up, Car Wolfia could slowly catch up to him, and that's why that I think Car Wolfia is going to sneak into the playoffs, is because Car Wolfia is more active than in Vixie Zach, so Car Wolfia will be in these next 6 races, and we talked about this last season with Car Wolfia and Braden. They're very prone to hit the death ball. All you have to do is finish the race. All right, get your points, go home. All right. Get your points, try and make the playoff. That would be my best advice to Car Wolfia after dropping out of Busch to Trucks, which I told you all that he would not be good in Busch, but I think
that's all we got for Trucks. We'll go on to a Busch series, which I don't even know what's good at. I don't know where to start with this guy.
I don't either because, again, this is obviously by far the most interesting series. It's got the closest points battles, well, from second on down, but you know what I mean.
Now, points here are updated up to date, so we don't have to worry about guessing. All right, now
you don't gotta worry about the guessing game.
You can start off with Kaiden's season. I don't know.
All right, Kaiden is indeed in the VC and in the game, so he's gonna hear all the good things I gotta say about him. All right, Kaiden. All right, he has won one race. It looks. Or wait, no, he's won more than that. Come on now, he's won 2 and 2. Yeah, 2. So that's going to be 20 playoff points for him. He's got 1, 2 poles as well. So that's going to be 30 playoff points for him. He's got a 100-point gap over second place over David. That's a statement right there. All right, this was his return year to this league. He after I think like a 4-season absence or something like that. Yeah. Got a ride on RKR. Really, just from the start, he's just showed up and showed out, and he's just been able to hold this points lead for a number of weeks now. Kind of similar to some shit that my dumbass was doing last year, but moving on from that, he's been really consistent. He's been in almost every single race that we've raced in. Honestly, I feel like he should be the winner of Road America, if we're being honest here. Still a cool win for Naka, but I feel like Kaiden should have won that race.
True.
Irregardless, obviously the clear front runner for this regular season championship. I don't know if we can say the championship itself just yet because of I feel like this Busch Series roster is more stacked than it was last season in terms of how do I put it? Close, more like close racing and such.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. He's had a great season. Now, David, he's 172 points over the cut line, which is pretty good. He's had a very odd season, but oddly good. Because the start of it wasn't that great. He was in the playoffs, but he just, from half the field, just can kind of hit or miss, and he was just kind of doing all right, but he wasn't doing great. He didn't win for the first 11 weeks until Pocono decided to happen. Hello, Car.
Gee, I wonder where we've seen that before.
And he got the win that I think he probably should have gotten in last year, but he got it today, so that's pretty cool for this guy. And he just recently won at New Hampshire, which is very nice. Now, David has more playoff points than Kaiden. He has 35.
He does. I didn't even realize that.
So keep that in mind. Although if Kaiden wins the regular
season title, which
with no other wins
to do,
with no other wins, keep in mind they would be tied. So that'd be pretty interesting to see and watch out for.
Because if David wins, then they're just straight up tied. But
yeah. But yeah, I would say David's had a pretty good season now. He's gotten some momentum, but I just think he needs to win more. I think that's his big goal now.
The reason why he's all the way up there in second, he's got 403. That's still 100 points behind Kaiden, which isn't necessarily the spot you want to be in, but he's consistent. All right, he's finished races consistently. He might have died at Texas, but he had HP and a couple other people sub for him. Got him some half points that were very important. And he's just been very flat-out consistent. He's been at the front for almost every single race. It's kind of the same thing as Kaiden. It's just him, dying at Texas, really set him back.
Yeah. That's rather unfortunate. All right, you can talk about your child.
All right, I got to talk about my son right quick, even though Lark's no longer here. All right. Neptune has been, I feel like he's also another person who should be considered always just been in the race, but I feel like out of everyone else, he's just gotten screwed the most out of it. Got the pole at Phoenix, had the strongest run over everyone else, but Bakers was able to learn the track late. A late race caution came out, boom, Bakers won the race. Now, I'm not necessarily going to say oh, that's dumb of Bakers, because he just flat out drove it better than Neptune those last few laps. There's not much else to talk about there. That gives Neptune 5 playoff points, and then I don't see any other poles around here. So that's just 5. And then he also won at Charlotte, his first career win after so many tries. That win at Charlotte was, I feel like, definitely a statement. Only 15 playoff points, but I feel like he's gonna get at least one more win before we go into the playoffs. And he's again one of the more consistent drivers. He's always up front, I feel like, and I feel like this next race at Richmond, I feel like he could be really good at it. I haven't really seen the setup yet, but I think that Neptune will definitely be a threat in the playoffs, but we'll just have to see.
All right, and that's Neptune's season. He's doing pretty well for himself. Janicek, I also will say he's doing pretty well for himself, despite what he says, because half the time he's saying this is a bad season, and I have to go sit there and be like, what do you mean? 3 wins.
Your biggest critic is yourself. I will be honest here, but I feel like if you watch the race at New Hampshire on Wednesday, I believe, I don't know when it was, but if you watch that race, like he just talked like his season was basically over. Like he was like last in points. Like he's literally in the playoffs, and all you have to do in the playoffs is just win Phoenix or Martinsville, and you can just contend for a championship or just be consistent. And Janicek's proved that he's been able to do that, so I don't know why he talks like that.
Yeah, I mean, he's had some bad luck, yes, but it's not like he's someone in like 8th or 9th or 10th just struggling out here. But
he's not completely helpless.
I digress. Those 3 wins are extremely helpful compared with
That's
his
30 playoff points.
His 35 with his poll at Texas.
You're right.
So I think that's
he's got the same as David. Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
All I'm saying is that all we're saying, I should say, is that
all we're saying.
If the playoffs were to start now or whatever, and Caden gets those points and whatnot, it'd be a 3-way tie for first. Could you believe that? That's crazy.
Which would be quite crazy.
That is wild. But Janicek, I mean, there's...
Wait, though, Kaiden 2 wins, so that's 20, and then Kaiden, does he have any polls?
He has 2.
That's 30, right?
Oh, yeah, and he'd be leading by like...
So, yeah, he'd be leading by 10 points.
Yeah, never mind. So, just be a 2-way battle for second. That's still pretty wild.
But they would be both really close.
Yeah.
Neptune would be set pretty far back because, again, if you want... playoff points, they're not necessarily like I need it, like, to get ahead of everybody else. But they are a very useful and helpful thing because it gives you some leverage over everybody else. And, continue.
Yeah, that's about it for Janicek, I feel like. And you got one of your favorite people, I think, Miguel.
But, yeah, okay. Miguel. All right, so he went back-to-back to start the season, Daytona and Auto Club, and then proceeded to put himself in the death wall at Las Vegas, and he was out for 4 races. I don't know if I subbed for him or not in any of these, but that's already 20 playoff points immediately off the bat. That is helpful. He also got a pole that's 25. He also won the Darlington race. That's 35.
Another 35.
Another guy with 35 playoff points. I don't know why. That's a reoccurring theme that we've seen. I didn't really notice it until I took a closer look with you today. But Miguel, I digress. This is only his 2nd season in the league. He's died twice, but he's still there. He's still fighting. He's in the playoffs at the moment, which I don't think it's too likely that he falls out, but he needs to start showing up and, kind of get going if he wants, a higher position. I would suggest, again, his case is kind of the same as, Janicek did Neptune's. It's win more races, I guess more just Neptune's. Win more races and get more poles. You don't necessarily need all the stage points in the world at this point, because I feel like at this point for guys like Miguel and Neptune, I think they're going to make it in. So I really think their main concern is just playoff points so they can hopefully stay in the fight. Because like I said, leverage really helps in the playoffs. Miguel, all I'm really going to say about him as well is for dying twice and having 292 points in 5th place, that is not a bad effort at all. That is not something that should be looked down upon, not even in the slightest bit. Granted, he's had some not great races, but he's always been up there along with some of these other guys as well. He's usually up there. He's usually making a fight and a case for himself to win the race. So I do believe that out of everybody else, either him or Neptune could be one of the biggest dark horses going into the playoffs.
I am inclined to agree. And for a last playoff driver, I have to touch on Cole. All I can say is this is I don't know. I don't know what to say about this guy.
I got 2 words that can describe it.
What are those 2
terrible
words?
luck.
Yeah.
Just terrible luck. That's
Terrible
pretty much
luck.
all I can say.
He got the pull at Atlanta, which is 5 playoff points.
That's his only points, too. That's his only playoff points.
He hasn't won a race in over a year.
Michigan last year, I think.
Yeah, that's his last win. It's June now.
Over a year.
I think the goal for him is just to stay, not only just stay in the playoffs, because I don't think Kirsch cares that he'll make the playoffs. We'll touch on him just a little bit.
Yeah, we need to touch on him in a second.
But whether or not Kirsch cares or not, if he shows us a race and does good, Cole needs to get himself together and also win a race and get some momentum building, because missing New Hampshire, I mean, actually, I don't think he missed New Hampshire. He was okay. He's consistently mid, as the best I can describe it. He's consistently.
I feel like also just to say, like I feel like the main reason he wasn't that fast at New Hampshire was because his pit stall was one of the slowest out of everyone else. But continue.
Yeah, that definitely contributed, but even still, he was running like 4th or 5th. He's just consistently
he was
4th
the
or
4th
5th.
place car like always.
And I think that's like him the entire season. It's consistently 4th or 5th, which isn't bad, but Kirst. Actually, I'll leave that off with you. But
yeah, like 3rd and 2nd at least. That's what you need. Like,
and at
also,
some races,
you can go first. My bad.
But yeah, in some races, you just need to have like a good race, and he's just been having races the entire day, and he's skated by just fine like that. But when it comes to these playoffs, he's gonna have to step it up, and I'm not sure if he can at this current moment.
Yeah, but I also will say, out of everybody else that's in the playoffs at the moment, I don't know how to put it. He's kind of like one thing goes wrong and bam, he's immediately emotionally out of it. You got to keep your head in the game, all right? You got to like try and salvage as much points as you possibly can, even if some of the most catastrophic things happen to you, all right? Like, I feel like that's one of the reasons why he's only got like 5 playoff points. He's only sitting in 6th. It's just like, I mean, no offense, like at all. He's actually a really cool person, but I feel like you just got to keep your head up during these races and after them, and you got to not come into them so negative.
Absolutely, hard agree. All right, I'll let
just build up some confidence.
One of these dudes from that are not in the playoffs.
All right, well, to be honest, you can talk about anybody 8th to 14th on down, because I personally don't think any of them are making the playoffs unless they start showing up, but that's just me. Curse Skeletons, though. I feel like this is somebody we need to talk about. This is probably the biggest threat outside of the playoffs to all the playoff drivers, and it's pretty apparent when you look at the points. I mean, he's only 46 points back, which actually is a bit of a deficit, but that, if you think about it, that can also be made up in one race, and he's in the playoffs immediately, just like that, at the snap of your fingers. Now, looking at his playoff points, I don't know if he's got any polls. He does have 1 poll. Again, he won at Milwaukee. He also won at Martinsville, which it's a track he's consistently good at. Hint, hint, that's a winning in race in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So 25 playoff points, not bad. But the biggest but of all of this is he won the All-Star race, which I believe gives you, 75 playoff points?
Yep.
That's 100 playoff points. He would be 50 points ahead of Kaiden if it were to stay like this.
Yeah, how crazy that is.
And that's just crazy to me.
Like, I know Tony did the same thing last year with his All-Star win, and he fumbled the bag pretty hard. But
yeah, that's one of the biggest fumbles in DGRN history, if I'm going to be honest.
But yeah, I think go ahead.
But yeah, some of these guys like Cole or Miguel, I don't know if Genesek's too far ahead or what. He's only 79 above the cutoff. But Neptune, David, and Kaiden, keep having those consistent runs. You'll have nothing to worry about, all right? Janicek, Miguel, and Cole, though, I suggest showing up, salvaging as much points as possible, because if you don't show up for one race or you have one bad race, Kirst can be, like, right there. And I don't know if he cares about making the playoffs that much, but if he does, then he could be a big dark horse to win this championship. And I feel like Cole, obviously the closest to him, so I feel like he should kick it into high gear the fastest. But other than that, Kirst probably the biggest threat outside of the playoff points right now.
There is one guy I do want to talk about that is under Kirst, and that's Mr. Naka. Now 240 points back. Do I think he's gonna make the playoffs on points? Hell no, probably not.
Ay caramba.
But he has done well, I think. Road America was a big statement. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool.
That's 15 playoff points. It's the same as Neptune.
So, yeah, keep that in mind. But let's say he shows up for the rest of the season and has relatively good luck. I think he's pretty good at super speedways. So I think Daytona will be like a big thing for him. And I think he can win there. I mean, anyone could, but him especially, I think.
Anybody.
I think that'd be
as long as he keeps showing up, like I said, rack up poles, rack up wins. Like I don't, like you said, I don't think Naka's gonna make it in on points. Okay, I think that if he just gets a couple more wins, a couple more poles, but the biggest one that he should circle, Daytona, win that race, win that, and you're automatically in the playoffs. All right, that's again why Cole is in probably the worst spot to be in, because if you're the sixth place driver and somebody wins that below the playoffs, wins that win in race, you're out. You're done. Your season's over, just like that. So, yeah, that's pretty much why Cole should worry the most. But yeah, I feel like Naka definitely out of this field below the playoff cut line could make a just surprise Daytona win to make the playoffs. I feel like the same can also be said about Bakers. He tried that last season to win Daytona and get into the playoff. It didn't work out because I think Janicek wrecked him on the final lap, but I'm not 100% sure. But maybe this is the season he does it. Rai King, I want to highlight him, was really good at Daytona earlier this season. Other than that, he just doesn't really show up, and that's the case for most of these guys under here. But other than that, I feel like those are like the only threats that are below the playoff cut line.
That's true. One other thing I should have mentioned it earlier, is there's like a different type of swing in the season now. And what I mean by that is that early on in the season you had drafting tracks, Vegas, Atlanta, Michigan. Then you have all these short tracks as of late.
Yes.
Dover, Milwaukee, Road America. Most of the short track setups are around here.
Road America, like short tracks, road courses. That's kind of the point of the season that we're hitting.
Exactly. So I think what you're seeing is a lot of these guys, like Cole, he does well on the drafting tracks. He hasn't really shown it that much, but when he's on the drafting tracks, he can be more competitive. These types of tracks, not really so much, and you can see that's affecting him in the points. You could say the same for, I would say, Caden, but in like the opposite way. He's been doing really well. So these are the types of tracks he does well at. If you're good at both, then that's even better.
I'm pretty sure at race 10, Cole was in the playoffs. He's obviously still in the playoffs, but I'm pretty sure Cole was in like third or second, I think.
I can go.
That just shows you how wrong it's gone for this man.
Yeah, the highest he's been up to third at race 8, and after race 8 he has not recovered since then. He's been sitting in 5th or 6th after race 9, I think.
Yeah, again, this is just like you said, it's the point of the season where it's just a bunch of short tracks and road courses. Now, like I said, salvage points. If I were Cole here at Richmond, Portland, Nashville, Darlington, those are the races where I try and salvage as much points as possible. Now, tracks like Indy, Elwood, Daytona, maybe even Watkins Glen. This is where I go for wins, all right? This is where I think Cole should be going for wins, because I think Cole can win on these tracks. This is how you get playoff points. This is how you get ahead of everybody else. This is how you get yourself out of risk of somebody winning at Daytona and you getting bumped from the playoffs. That's just personally my thought process on it.
Hell yeah. I think that's it for, I think all I had to say for the Busch Series. Moving on to Cup. I guess I will take the first one since it's you. It is you.
Yeah, you don't want to hear me talk about myself.
Talk about me. Look at me. I'm glazing myself.
I will shoot my son.
Don't do that now. Young Cash Fisher, aka Little Bruins, and Monkey Got Hops has 45, I think, playoff points. Right now, he won poles at Auto Club, Talladega, and Pocono, and won races at Phoenix, Darlington, and somewhat recently-ish, North Wilkesboro. That's pretty cool. He has a stupid points lead.
What about it is stupid?
It's a lot. It's a lot of points. So the battle for the lead isn't the most crazy thing. It's more so just setting yourself up for the playoffs right now. But I would say about after St. Petersburg, since the points aren't exactly up to date, it's about like 300 plus points between himself and Rainbow, which is a big cushion.
And I'm going to gain because I finished ahead of Rainbow.
Yep. So that's pretty wild. Clearly, I think the front runner for the regular season championship. For the playoffs, that can change because of how close HP has been and how many points he's just racked up from poles and his 3 wins as well, which I'll catch on to it later. But Monkey Got Hops, I think clearing away the favorites for the regular season championship. I don't think there's much doubt that he won't, unless barring anything crazy happens somewhere in like Indy or something.
All right, Rainbow got taken. All right, this is I think I just gotta just flat out say it as well. Another thing, the best and closest start that Rainbow has had in a while. Like last season, Rainbow didn't have the greatest of seasons. I don't even think Rainbow made the playoffs, but this, Rainbow did win the Season 10 Busch Series Championship, credit where credit is due. Then moved back up the Cup, also won the Season 8 Cup Series Championship, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know when it was, but I know she has a Cup Series Championship. 6. My bad, dude. I wasn't here for that, okay? I was like 9. All right, shut up. Anyway, this is the closest and one of the best starts Rainbow's had in a long time. Compared to last season, this is a big and huge leap for that 5 team. Now, that being said, Rainbow has won at Texas and Texas. Yeah, just Texas, I think. Oh, no, Pocono. Pocono and Texas. Has won at Pocono and Texas. That Pocono win, again, the worst race out of any other race this season, but I digress. Still won the race. Won Texas. That was a pretty good race for her. I believe she won a stage as well. And then as far as polls are concerned, I think she only has 1. Or does she have none?
She got
nothing. All right, so only 20 playoff points. I feel like that is the biggest concern for Rainbow. Is, like I said, playoff points, you can easily make them up in the playoffs. You can easily catch up, but they give you a ton of leverage if you have enough. And like I said, it's go time. We're halfway through the season. We're halfway there. It's we're almost to the playoffs. This is go time. This is crunch time. You need playoff points. You need polls. You need wins. I said it before. I'll say it again. But other than that, phenomenal start to the season for Rainbow. One of the best that she's had in a long time, as I said. And, I think she will definitely make a run in the playoffs. I think she'll make it.
All right. leads me into H. Patrick Star.
Yeah, you get to jerk off your driver.
What? He's a minor. Can't do that. All right, HP. Geez, what a slew of things he's gone through this entire season. Vegas, good race for this guy. He won the race. That was awesome. Michigan, we felt bad for this guy because Caden was about to win, and then HP won the race. We all rejoiced in happiness.
And I said, no, you're not winning, Caden.
No. And his latest win came at Dover, which he just whooped the field. Also, in that time, he's won 3 poles in a row from Texas to Milwaukee, and then another pole at North Wilkesboro, which that would mean every race he started in for the past 4 races, he's won the pole. And so this guy, if he shows up to the rest of the season, that's a scary thought for these other guys.
Yeah.
He's sitting third right now. I think his biggest thing for now, I think, is just getting more poles and wins, because I think the regular season championship might be a little out of reach. Me personally, because there's 10 races left, so a lot of things can change. But if everyone keeps running how they are now, I don't see really Monkey relinquishing the top spot anytime soon. And I think HP's biggest problem, I think, this season, he's just been inconsistent. He's been good, and then he's been bad. And when he's been bad, he loses interest in the race, and just kind of does whatever.
Yeah. Exhibit A, Milwaukee.
Yeah. I think that's his biggest thing. I'm trying to see how many playoff points. He has 50 playoff points right now. That's pretty crazy.
That's more than me.
So, yeah, I mean, you'd have that lead by the playoffs if you were to win the regular season championship.
If it all stays the same, yes.
Yeah. This guy, watch out for the HP machine. This dude is on the hunt for playoff points right now.
Again, last season's Busch Series champion, the season 3 truck champion. So if you're counting him out, if you're like betting on him to not make the playoffs or not make a run in the playoffs, then you're just stupid.
Dummy. You can take.
But yeah, I guess it's my turn to talk about Silent Volcano. Oh boy. Let's see. He could be doing a lot better. I'm not going to lie to you. He could be up there with Rainbow or HP, but instead he's back and forth, like 200 points back, because he just hasn't been able to show. Now, I don't know if that's just he's like lost interest in the league, or like he just straight up can't make it, but at the moment, he's only got 5 playoff points, which is just crazy to me that in a span of 20 races that Silent has only won a pole, and that's it at COTA. Now, this is basically what happened last season. He only won at Talladega. I can't remember if he did anything for poles, but then we hit the playoffs and he turned on the Jets, and he made up as much points as possible. He got all the way up to the championship and fought for it with the red at Homestead and ended up losing, but still, he had a phenomenal playoff. So I believe counting him out here would be another mistake by everyone else in the field. But if he just keeps showing up, honestly, that's how he stays in the playoffs. Is just show up, get as much points as he can, and that's how you stay in the playoffs. I feel like if he can, like, I wouldn't say like try and catch HP, but turn like that 200 point deficit into like a 100. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, at least get far enough away from the cutoff line, you know? But other than that, there's not really much to talk about because, like I said, he's just not showing up anymore, and it's just what he needs to be doing. So, like I said, don't know if it's lack of interest or just straight up can't make it, but he just needs to start making these races, man, and finishing good.
That leaves off with the last DG card in right now, which is 3 in a row.
Oh, no.
Interesting. Liv Diggs Racing. She's had a few stand-up performances, and when I mean a few, I really mean a few. Daytona was really aggressive, but Kai was also really aggressive. If things don't work out for Kai, I think lived could have very well won the 500, which is a very interesting thought. And we probably would have set the tone differently for the rest of her season and how people perceive her, maybe. We never know because she didn't win. Las Vegas was the second or third fastest car. Didn't win the race. I think finished like 4th or 5th. Didn't really capitalize on it.
Yeah, I genuinely can't remember.
Cole didn't show up. Bristol won. Bristol. She was the second, third fastest car. The HP got well glitched.
More like third.
Yeah, third fastest car. HP got well glitched.
Actually fourth now that I think about it.
That's crazy. She was one of the fastest cars out of like 6 or something. And then HP well glitched.
8, but I'm not sure.
Actually, well, yeah, if it's 8, then that's whatever. HP well glitched on the backstretch, and then she won the race. So that's the biggest highlight of her season. Did okay at Talladega before she got wrecked, and then wrecked at Darlington. Then got like a second place at Pocono, which was pretty cool. Didn't show up for Charlotte. Actually, no, she did show up for Charlotte, and then she had to die because her leg was hurting or something. Texas was a low point, and then she left for Dover, Milwaukee,
yeah.
Sonoma. Came back in New Hampshire, had to park it there. North Wilkesboro finished 4th, which actually wasn't that bad.
Yeah, 4th, I think.
And then St. Petersburg DNF'd again, so it's kind of been the same story that it has been for the past couple of races. Been meh, maybe a cool little stand performance here and there, but I don't think she's had a really standout performance since really Bristol. Pocono, I guess you could put Pocono up there, but Pocono wasn't really that great to begin with, so it was just kind of survival of the fittest. I digress. All the jokes aside from how she handles herself or whatnot, biggest 2 things, I think. One, I think caring a little more can go a long way. I think treating it just kind of like this is my spare time, I can do whatever. And I don't mean to like judge people on how they view things and whatnot, but from how like frustrated she gets in the race sometimes, and then saying she doesn't really care, it doesn't make much sense. So if you care a little bit, maybe put a little bit more effort, and you might see something cool happen. I don't know. That's just my 2 cents.
10 playoff points, and I fully agree with you. I feel like she has the same problem as Cole, but worse. There's just one thing happens, and she just completely takes her head out of the game. I feel like I feel like somebody could like accidentally like put her in a wall glitch, and then she makes it her like life's mission to hunt that driver down and wreck them. So I don't really know. Stevens. I just feel like she really needs to like. It's the same problem as Cole, as I said. Like, just stop really getting like that mad about the race. All right, like you said, care a little bit more, but don't care too much. All right. I feel like this is crunch time as well for her, because I feel like she's only in the spot that she's in because guys like Gio, Kai, Adriani, Tony, Koval, and like Michi, Rory, you can even make a case for him. I feel like the only reason she's in there is because most of those guys under there haven't shown up as much.
That's very true.
But yeah, that's all I'm saying about that. Anyway, I get to talk about One Lobster.
Hooray.
Now, one at Atlanta was a really strong win. I believe was his like first start in like forever, but I'm not sure. But great win for him. That gave him 10 playoff points. I don't know if he's gotten any polls. He probably should have won Milwaukee, but that was partly HP and my fault. Once again, I will apologize to One Lobster. I will never get high ever again before a row race. Sorry.
We'll get high before school.
Sorry. No, shut up. But anyway, honestly, pretty decent season for him, but at the same issue as Cole as well, just not in the greatest of spots at the moment. Only 10 playoff points. Not only is that bad, but sitting in 6th when anybody can win Daytona and just straight up snake your spot in the playoffs, that's not good. That's terrible. Like, honestly, I think if he just keeps showing up, like getting those top fives, like at North Wilkesboro, he finished the race in 5th after, like, I don't know, like we started with 8 and like 3 of them parked it. But just keep getting those good finishes. You'll make the playoffs. It'll all be all right. And I think the most important thing is just get out of 6th place, so you know nobody snakes your spot in the playoffs. And also show up to Daytona. That's what I would do for like Cole or Lob or whoever's in 4th in trucks or Vic Zag. My bad. That's what I would do. All right. But yeah, honestly, if he just showed up more often, I feel like he could be up there with like HP and Silent and Rainbow. I feel like if he just showed up a little more.
And that leaves me off with one driver from under the playoffs, which is a very interesting thing to look at. But I would say Adriani has been the most fun to watch. He showed up the last 3 races. I think New Hampshire did pretty all right for himself. North Wilkesboro parked it, which is a little unfortunate. But then in St. Petersburg, he was also there and did pretty okay for himself. Given that points update, I think he passes Kai for 10th. For 9th season.
Yeah, I'm doing it right now. Don't worry about it.
So I think he would be in a pretty good spot. All things considered.
He will actually move all the way up to 7th. He will have 122.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna pass everybody.
Adrian, if he starts showing up more like he has been, watch out.
Like,
my AirPod. No.
I've been inactive in the game for like 20 minutes because I haven't touched Roblox. LOL.
Oh shit! Neither have I. I got disconnected.
I'm not even gonna be at the desk. Okay, I'm back.
I gotta rejoin. Wait.
Wait just a minute, please.
Please. But yeah, I think Adriani, like, if he just starts showing up, starts pouring it on, I think Adriani could very, very well make the playoffs. Even if he doesn't show up as often, like, just show up to Daytona. I think Adriani has a genuine shot of winning that race if he shows up.
Yeah,
TP me.
That's the biggest guy I think that is gonna get real.
Like below the cutoff, yeah, I feel like that. I mean, I feel like Rory or the guys like Rory or Gio could also make a run if they showed up, like, but it's also kind of a stretch. Same goes for Kai because Kai hasn't shown up since like Martinsville, but I feel like Tony, Koval, Michi, Jasper, they're not showing up. So I feel like they're all just lost causes. I mean, Tony and Koval will show up to commentate the race, but they're not gonna actually race. They're not gonna try and gain points. So I feel like Rory, Gio, Kai, and Adriani are the only ones who are gonna be able to maybe challenge for a playoff position, and that's a stretch considering these guys are very inconsistent when it comes to showing up to the races. But who knows? Maybe Adriani shows up more, somehow makes a run and makes it in. Who knows? But yeah, that would just be my advice to everyone. 7th, 10th is just show up,
please.
Like literally, Adriani got a 3rd today, and he moves all the way up to 7th because of it. And he's only going to be like, I think 40. He's going to be 39 points below the cutoff. That's huge.
Very, very, very huge.
All right, is that all that we have for today?
I believe so. I mean, I think the last thing I do want to slightly touch on, just a small thing. It's just, again, going back to the track stuff. Since we're also in like this short track road course type of thing, it's also important to know that we don't really be in that type of phase come the playoffs. I mean, I think the Trucks and Busch are like slightly, they're more like the same. Trucks has Bristol and whatnot. They have, I think Busch, I'm pretty sure Trucks and Busch have like the same schedules, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to be honest here, though, for the playoffs, when it comes to, well, like you said, at the moment we're in this kind of road course, short track type of fugue state in the regular season. But once we hit the playoffs, it's kind of like you just threw darts at a dartboard and just said fuck it, because there's no like real consistency anywhere. Like it's either like it'll be like a speedway, then a short track, speedway, then a road course, then speedway, then a super speedway, then short track, and then whatever the hell Homestead is. Speedway, I think, yeah. So it's, again, like I said, it's never gonna be like a same type of track. Like at the start of the season, it was a bunch of speedways, super speedways, draft tracks. It's not gonna be like that in the playoffs. It's gonna be very, very different. But at the moment in this like short track road course state, this is where if you're good at these types of tracks, this is where you gain the most points. All right. I think like later, like when we get to like the near end of the regular season, when we hit Atlanta, that's when we start going to more like, bigger tracks and like speedways, super speedways, and then stuff like that, but, and then we hit the playoffs and it's all willy-nilly, but again, 7th to 10th, Circle Daytona. Same goes for everybody else that's below the cutoffs and Busch and Truck. Circle Daytona, stay out of trouble the entire race, win the race, get in. Boom. There you go. But yeah, I feel like that's pretty much it. When is Richmond going to be for Busch and Cup, by the way?
So here's the fun thing. Technically, since my schedule is a lot more freer, I can do it Sunday if people want it Sunday. If they don't want it Sunday, then it'll be next week.
I mean, I'd be all right with it, but you'd have to ask everyone else in Cup. Like, I don't know, because we did this last season. We raced like 4 days in a row one time. I can't remember when it was, but, well, Cup did at least. But yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to it, but at the same time, I don't know if I want to, but I wouldn't be opposed to it. Everyone else, I'm not sure.
All right, I believe that is all we have.
All right, crunch. Like I said, 10 times, crunch time, playoffs, get it going.
Crunch it. All right, from Richmond, Virginia. I am Zach Nobody DG, and Monkey Got Hops is chilling. We're gonna send a cool little send off for Mr. Lark, who is gone. Rest in peace. Like he died.
Nah! Just jump in the coffin.
Jump in the. Oh no.
No, he can't be gone. No.
We will be probably back. Oh yeah, Indy 500 will be coming up sometime soon. I'll have to get a schedule for that sometime later. We'll do a podcast before and after Daytona, and another podcast a little bit before then, probably around the Elwood Nashville mark.
Probably like race like 25 or something. Probably like after Atlanta is the next podcast, if I had to guess.
Get out of a car! I'm trying to do things. Damn. You can mess up the audio. Good job.
Damn it!
All right, we're signing off. We out of here.
Later.